Welcome back, everybody. If you've been watching my channel, I've been doing videos on the JessEm doweling jigs. A few videos ago, I told you guys if there were any specific joints that you wanted to see to let me know, and I would do a video on those. And you've been sending those to me, and I've already done a few of them, and I'm going to do a few more today. So I've written down some joints that have been requested. Some of these are just kind of a different take on joints I've already shown, and some are straight out of the owner's manual of the stainless steel jig. So let's get to it. So the first joint, the person said they want to build a serving tray, but when they set the serving tray down, they don't want the whole tray to set on the table. They want just the edges about a 1/4 inch below the bottom of this surface here. So just the edges are sitting on the table. Now you could do this with a border all the way around your tray. So when it's sitting on the table, it looks thicker than it is. But what I would do is do just the ends. I would put pieces on the ends that are thicker than the tray. So when you set it down, you see these ends touching the table, but the middle is floating. You can see under it. So that would be a cool look, a little more interesting than just a flat tray sitting on a table. But how do you do it? It's really simple. Let me show you. So doing this would be very similar to just doing a regular edge glue up. The only difference is you have two different thicknesses of material. This would be your main tray, would be a thinner material, and then this border piece, or your foot, I would call it, would be a thicker material. As far as grain goes, you could cut your wood so your grain flows all in one direction if you wanted, or you could have your main tray grain going this way, and then your foot piece on the end, the grain could be going the opposite direction, and it would give you like a breadboard end kind of look. I think also using two contrasting woods, such as this maple and walnut, would give a really nice effect also. And once you had your pieces all milled up to the size and thickness and everything you wanted, as far as doing the joint, it's very simple. So like with any edge joint, I just choose what my top is going to be, and then I drill dowel holes referencing the top to my fence. And these first set of holes, it doesn't matter where they are, you can drill them anywhere. So I'm going to clamp my jig in place right there, make sure it's tight against my drilling surface, and drill a couple holes. Drill 3 holes, we can take that off. Now we want to make sure our jig fence goes on the top of our foot piece. So we just flip this over back to back and clamp that together. And with our pieces clamped back to back like this, we can just use an alignment pin, put our jig on, clamp it in place. You don't want this to shift. Then you want to drill in the hole that's lined up with the alignment pin. Then you just move that alignment pin down to the next hole and do the same thing. And once your holes are drilled, you throw a couple dowels in. And it gives you a tray with a little foot on it. Another request I got was to demo the joints shown on page 5 of the stainless steel jigs owner's manual. As you can see, there's 3 joints on here, and unfortunately this is pretty typical of JessEm's instructions. They show some pictures, but they don't really tell you how to do this. This joint up here is very similar to joints I just used to build the face frames for the drawer units for the desk. I'll show you that one. This is just a simple edge glue up. I've shown this in other videos. This one's interesting. It's using multiple dowels in rows on a thicker piece of material. I haven't shown this one before, so I'll go ahead and do this one also. All right, guys, for this joint, I just have this camera kind of set up to look over my shoulder here. I think this is going to work out fine. We're going to do this joint here first. I just got a couple of these ratty old pieces of 2x4. This piece here will be this piece of wood, and then this piece that goes on the top will be this piece, and it'll go on just like that. Even doing a joint like this, if this is like some kind of framing piece that's never going to be seen, or it's part of a piece of furniture or something that's going to be seen from both sides, no matter what, you always pick a top and a bottom. With every one of these doweling joints, I can't stress that enough. I say it all the time. You always pick a top and a bottom, and I always reference my fence on my top, like 99% of the time, unless I can't do it for some particular reason. But most of the time, I reference the top to my fence. You can do the bottom if you want, if that works for you. However you do it, just do it the same every time. So you have your pieces together. This is where you want them. You can do a couple marks that'll tell you this is your top. It's a good reminder for you if you want to do that. Then you can measure your pieces get it situated exactly how you want it. Make a little mark there, make a little mark there, and now you have your lines. You know exactly where this is going to go, and this is going to help you align these pieces later. Now for this joint, I would do my first set of holes in this piece and then use those holes for alignment to make my holes in this piece. Now, like with a lot of the joints using this jig, your first set of holes, it doesn't really matter where they go because you're going to use the actual holes for alignment on this piece. So it doesn't really matter where they're at because you're going to align to the actual hole. No marking or measuring required for the hole location. I would put my jig on my piece of wood, lock it down, and leave it there, and then adjust the depth of the jig. So you'll be using two different depth adjustments on here. You're going to want to remember those numbers. So for the jig placement on this piece of wood, I would just kind of eyeball it, center it by eye. It's going to be good enough. And then once it's where you like it, just clamp that down real nice and tight. My 0 is set at 3/8. That means the center of these dowels is 3/8 inch away from the fence, and I'm going to drill my first holes at 3/8. And I'll do 3 dowels here. Now you want to leave it clamped and then adjust the depth of your jig. So this, I want it kind of centered in the piece of wood. So I'll go right there. So that centers my jig pretty well on the piece of wood, and it puts me at 11/16. I made a little pencil mark there at 3/8, and I'll do another one here at 11/16. You could also just write these measurements down, so when you go to drill your corresponding holes in this piece of wood, you use the same marks. And then keeping with the theme of our example, I'll do 2 holes in this one. And then for our third row, just loosen this up, move it to, let's see, is 1 inch gonna give me room? I felt that 1 inch put me a little too close to the edge of the wood, so I backed it off to 15/16. And again, you can write that number down, or I can just make a little mark on there for a reminder, and then drill 3 holes. All right, we can take that off. As you can see, like our example in the book, we have 8 holes in a fancy little pattern. So like the last joint we did, and like all the joints, you put these together, how they go, flip it over, so we're back to back, and you have your marks on your wood where you want your piece to be, so you just make sure it's centered in those marks. Use a square to square it up, and then clamp it down really good. Once you're all clamped up, you have to remember when these are drilled, you're going to take this piece off, you're just going to stand it up and put it on. So these 3 holes right here will be here, here, and here. These 2 will be in the middle, and then these 2, or these 3 that are farther away, will be down here. Okay, and that is what will line up. So to drill your corresponding holes, you can leave your jig set up how it was for that last set that you drilled, and use that setting to drill your first set of holes on here, and they'll all line up. Put your alignment pin in there, and you can slide that up, and you can use that alignment to drill here, here, and here. Then you adjust your jig back to your middle adjustment, which you have marked. I like to mark it right on the jig. Put your pin in, alignment, and now you can use this hole and that hole to drill those 2. And then for the last set, same thing. Adjust here. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at, camera? There we are. Just adjust that to the first mark you used. And now here's where you run to what you might think be a problem, but it's really not, because you want to put your pin in there and use that, but it doesn't reach, so you can't align to it. But we had this on this first piece clamped down, so we know it didn't move. So we know these 2 holes are lined up perfectly. So you can use that hole for your alignment slot and then drill here, here, and here, and we know they're going to be lined up. So there we made 8 holes quickly. Let's see if they all line up. So there we have our dowels in. If we did it right, our board should be between these 2 lines, and these 2 faces should be nice and flush. Hope you can see that. That pencil line is perfectly right where I marked it, and those are perfectly flush. You can also see our 2 lines that we use to reference our face are perfectly lined up. They're not shifted side to side at all. Now a joint like this, it might be overkill, but it's a great example of the kind of accuracy you can get with these jigs. In about a minute, I drilled 8 holes in 2 different pieces of wood. They lined up perfectly. The joint went exactly where I wanted it. That's pretty cool. So the last joint I'm going to do is another one from the owner's manual. It's that L-shaped joint. This could be a picture frame. It could be a face frame. It could be for any situation where you need to stick 2 pieces of wood together like that. All right, guys, I just wanted to say I'm doing these joints with the stainless steel jig because the person that requested these specifically asked I do them with this jig. But I have to say that whether you have this one or the original master kit, the procedure for doing these, everything I'm doing is exactly the same. I'm talking precisely the same whether you use this or the master kit. They both have the centering slot. They both have the fins. They both adjust in and out. It's exactly the same. Okay, with that said, let's move on to this jig here. So we have, or this joint. So we have our 2 pieces, top, right? Mark them so you keep track if you want, or you just keep tracking your head, whatever you want to do. And for this joint, it doesn't matter which piece you use to drill your first holes. If you do it in this piece, the one that is the side, I would recommend lining this up, make a little mark right here. So if you do this piece first, you put your jig on here, you can see that mark and you know not to drill out past that mark. But if you want to save yourself potentially making that little mistake, just do this piece, the piece that goes into it first. And that's what I'm going to do. And again, like all these other joints, these first holes, it doesn't matter where they go. You just want them basically centered on your piece, which it already is. As long as you're on the face here and on the face there, they're going to line up. It's going to be fine. Nothing to worry about. So you can throw your jig on anywhere, but if you line up the edge of the jig with the edge of the piece, you know that first hole is going to be inset a good distance, and you can use that as a reference and drill like 1, 2, 3 holes, whatever. So if you line that up, just really quick with your finger, clamp it down, you know you're going to be good to go. And with that clamped on, I can drill like 3 holes in here. Done, nice and quick. Pull that off. Once those holes are drilled, it's keeping with the same theme. We have our pieces face to face, how they go. You flip them over so they're back to back. Then you want to clamp that down nice and tight so everything's nice and square. So I just put that on a nice square flat surface. Hold that nice and tight and then clamp that down. So everything's squared up real nice. So then it's just a matter of inserting your alignment pin. I put it in the middle one, line up the middle, drill my 3 holes. Once all your holes are drilled, you throw some dowels in. You know, it's good to do a test fit before you throw glue in it, but we know what's going to happen, don't we? We know what's going to happen, people. We know what's going to happen. We know. Perfectly lined up, perfectly flush, perfectly square joint, every time. All right, guys, there's a few more joints done with the JessEm doweling jig. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you get notified when new videos like this come out. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.